Southeast Asia might be one of the biggest ticking time bombs ever. I wanted to talk with you about some mind-blowing facts that might change your opinion about Southeast Asia forever. We're going to talk about some practical, viable solutions as well. If you've been following me on this channel, you're probably aware of the fact that I've personally lived in Southeast Asia from 2011 to 2019, and I'm very proud to have called Southeast Asia my home for almost 8 years in the past. Since then, I've left Southeast Asia and I've decided to plant some flags for myself in different geographic locations outside of Southeast Asia. And I had my personal reasons for that. What I wanted to talk with you about is, of course, the upcoming war with Taiwan. You're probably aware of this, and if you've lived in the region, definitely witnessed how tensions have been escalating over the past couple of years, 10 years. I'll never forget when I lived in Southeast Asia 10 years ago, 11 years ago, there was always more talk about it. There was always more tension. And now we're seeing things escalating to a whole new level that nobody really wants. Nobody benefits from a war. The people don't benefit. The governments don't really benefit that much. But who benefits is, of course, the weapons industry, and that's bad. The arms industry benefits tremendously from wars, but the people don't benefit. Wars are expensive to fight. Wars cost human life, right? Wars are a tragedy. Wars are not a good thing for anybody if you think about it. However, things have been escalating more and more and more year by year. And I have lived in the region. As you know, I've lived in the region, and I've been talking to friends of mine about this for a very long time, and we have all observed how things are moving closer and closer and closer and closer together. And there's really only two scenarios that will happen, okay? Scenario one, and that is the best case scenario, which is that one of the two superpowers, either China or America, backs up. That's the best case scenario, because if one superpower decides to back up and prevent an escalation from happening, prevent the war from happening, then that's definitely the best case scenario. But what if that does not happen? What if nobody's willing to back up? Then war is inevitable, because they're fighting for the region, they're fighting for territory, and China's increasing assertiveness, and now we can also call it aggression, force. And we're not just seeing this in Taiwan, we're seeing this in neighboring countries as well. China has been taking control over Cambodia. I mean, China has a massive presence in Cambodia. A naval base, more companies are moving there. Sihanoukville has been transformed over the past couple of years and driven most people out of Sihanoukville. And if we take a look at the South Pacific, I mean, China is making massive advancements. We all know how this is going to end. And there are only two scenarios, right? One of the superpowers backs up, or the escalation becomes real. Hopefully the latter won't happen. However, that's a big problem, right? So this is one of the reasons why I think a mass exit from Southeast Asia to Latin America, Eastern Europe, and Africa is likely to happen. Of course, with the contingency that this war actually happens, which we don't want. And so this is one problem, right? Another thing is that COVID has really changed things a lot. And I've been talking to friends of mine in Bangkok, Thailand, that have lived in Thailand for years and years and years, consistently, not just for a month or 2 months and then flew back home. No, they have lived in Bangkok, Thailand for years, some more than 10 years. And they're telling me how the attitude, has changed over the years. And it has only intensified, over the past couple of years. Since COVID, it has intensified. Let me give an example. One of my friends, he takes the metro every single day in Bangkok, Thailand. And he now sees that he's still wearing a mask in the metro, and so are the Thais. And he sees that anytime he gets on the metro and takes a seat, that the people, the locals sitting right next to him on the left and right sides, they quickly leave. They stand up or they move to another seat. And you can see that the fact that COVID was brought into Thailand by foreigners really makes foreigners not so welcome in Thailand anymore. And while that's true, it's just not a fun environment to be in, where there is resentment. Your money is wanted, but you're not wanted. And that's definitely the case in Thailand. Thailand wants the money from tourists. Tourists are welcome in Thailand, not because they love tourists, no, because they love the money the tourists bring with them to Thailand. That's what it's all about. It's all about money. It's about the money all the time. All the time. In most countries, in all countries, it's about the money. And so another thing about Thailand is that Thailand is slowly and quietly transitioning into an absolute monarchy. And this has also been getting worse over the past couple of years. And you can talk to people, you can read articles, you can take a look at how the monarchy has been transforming, and many foreigners, they don't want that. They don't want that. Not even the locals want that. An absolute monarchy is not good for anybody. It's not good for the people. It's not good for the foreigners. I mean, we're just talking about Thailand now. If we take a look at Malaysia, we've just shot a couple of videos on Malaysia, and based on the comments received in the comment section of that video, or of those videos that we just made over the past couple of weeks, we definitely saw that there's more resentment towards foreigners, right? Many Malaysians believe that only the top tier foreigners should be allowed to live in the country. Today, when I lived in Malaysia in 2011, I spent a good amount of time there. I've had a fantastic time living in the country. And back then, the people were friendly, they were hospitable, they were open-minded, and they welcomed, everybody. It was such an exciting experience communicating with the locals, learning about their culture, their country, their system. And so they enjoyed learning about ours. But that mentality is slowly but surely going down as well. They now believe that foreigners have come to their countries to steal their affordable real estate, and that's partially true. But if we take a look at Malaysia's foreigner population, we can see that less than 1% of Malaysia's population actually consists of Europeans, North Americans, Australians. Very few foreigners live there. Yet there is this growing resentment, and that's not good. That's not good. And the visa policies keep changing. They keep getting tougher and tougher and tougher. And so the resentment is growing, like I said. The question is now, what are the solutions? What should you do? There's an upcoming war or potential war. Then, countries are becoming richer and they're rejecting foreigners. They're rejecting, the biggest category of foreigners, which average foreigners, multi-millionaires and billionaire foreigners. They don't move to Malaysia. They don't move to Vietnam. They don't move to the Philippines. Very, very, very few people do, right? The majority of foreigners hanging out in those countries are average dudes like you and I. Average dudes, right? Not a multi-million-dollar a year earners. And so because of that, we can see the growing foreigner resentment in Malaysia. The question is now, what should you do? And the answer is, pick a country that offers you the full package of liberty. And that's something I haven't really addressed so far, but it's very difficult to become a citizen of most Asian countries. Some practically impossible. It is also very difficult to impossible to own land. It is also very difficult to impossible to own a company for yourself. There are few exceptions far in between. Americans can own a company in Thailand, but opening and owning a company in the Philippines is very challenging. Running a company in Vietnam is very difficult, complicated, not easy at all. And so you want to have the full package of liberty. If you want to move to a country, right? If you want to establish yourself in a foreign country, when we're talking about the full package of liberty, what we're really talking about are residency, unconditional permanent residency with a path to citizenship. Super important. And that's already not offered by most Asian countries. They don't offer you that. They don't want you to become a citizen. They don't allow dual citizenship. To be fair, Austria does also not allow dual citizenship, and a few other more European countries. But you can become a citizen at least. Try becoming a citizen of Vietnam. Try becoming a citizen of Malaysia. Good luck with that. So permanent residency with a path to citizenship, and dual citizenship, very, very important too. Then you want to have full company ownership. You want to own the company yourself. You want to have full land ownership. You want to have these aspects covered, and that's what I call the full package of liberty. There are also other liberties like freedom of speech, all kinds of different liberties. So really focus on this. And so that's why we recommend Paraguay, a country located in Latin America. It borders Argentina, Brazil, and Bolivia. It is not a huge country, it is a landlocked country, but it is a country with a proven track record of liberty. Paraguay allows you to become a temporary resident pretty easily. Paraguay allows you to own land. Paraguay allows you to own apartments. Even if you're not a citizen, a foreigner can own land and apartments in Paraguay, no problem. Also, you can own a company under your name. You can have full company ownership. And citizenship, Paraguay is great for that. And the barrier of entry isn't that big. It's pretty easy to become a temporary resident And Paraguay, pretty easy. Another country that we recommend is Mexico. And now in Mexico, you can get residency while you're in the country. You no longer have to apply outside the country at the consulate or embassy. You no longer have to do that. You now have the option to apply for Mexican residency while you're inside the country. And we can help you with that as well. And if you want to do that, then please contact us. Whether you're looking to get residency in Paraguay or Mexico, we can help you with both. And all you need to do is click on the link in the description of the video. So there's a link below this video. Click on that, continue on the next page, fill out the information, follow the instructions, and we'll be in touch. Now with Asia, who is Asia suitable for and who is Asia not suitable for? This is my personal opinion based on the experiences that I've accumulated based on the current situation in the region. I recommend Asia to digital nomads who wanna experience the Southeast Asia routine because it still exists. Southeast Asia is very livable and it's great for digital nomads. However, if you're an entrepreneur, you have fewer options. Philippines, not that great if you want to own a company and, very problematic. Malaysia is probably one of the best countries, if not the best country, after Singapore, for owning a company, operating a company and getting a visa. Malaysia is great for that. So I recommend Malaysia to startup entrepreneurs. And for retirees, you really have to think, because at the end of the day, you want to retire somewhere where you can feel safe and welcome. And you want to look at the long-term visa, whether that country has a proven track record of liberty, and that's what I always stress, whether that's in terms of visas, whether that's in terms of citizenship, land ownership, company ownership, liberties in all shapes, forms, and sizes. Look for that, because moving abroad is a big decision. And you want to move to a country that is welcoming you with open arms. And I have said this so many times over the past months and even years on this channel. Look for countries that are willing to welcome you with open arms. I've said this so many times over the past couple of months and years, and perhaps I should trademark this one. Maybe I should. Because otherwise people start copying me, which is already happening, in fact. Anyway, so I recommend Southeast Asia to people who are looking for more flexibility, who are not willing to commit too much, who don't want to own land, who don't want to buy apartments, who don't want to own a company overseas. I recommend Southeast Asia to digital nomads, to people who do not want to commit too much in the region. Because if you commit too much, you're exposing yourself to a lot of risk in that region. As we have seen during COVID, countries have forbidden you to enter, even with a good visa, even with a residence permit. I mean, in Asia, there's no such thing as a residence permit, maybe in the Philippines, but all the other countries, they don't really issue unconditional permanent residence permits to foreigners. They don't. It does not exist there. The Philippines is maybe an exception, okay? Philippines, better than the rest, okay? More liberal. But the rest, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, there is no real unconditional permanent residency offered by either of these countries, okay? No. So Southeast Asia, great for vacationing, great for nomading, great for backpacking, whatever you want to do. Not good for investments, not good. Again, weak rule of law, very shaky policies, keep changing their minds, not good for that. Latin America, I recommend Latin America to people who want to establish themselves in a foreign country, who want permanent residency with path to citizenship, who want to own land under their name, who want to own a company under their name and get other liberties. On top of that, it's the full package, right? Latin America is great for that. Latin America also has its downsides. Safety can be a bit of an issue in certain countries and regions. So you gotta be aware, you gotta learn about that, you gotta know where you should go, where not to go, right? So I'm not saying Latin America is perfect, it isn't. But in terms of liberty, Latin America beats Asia easily. Easily, quickly and easily. Again, if you want to work with us, if you want us to help you obtain residency in Paraguay or Mexico, and by the way, I'm going to Africa very soon, so we'll have some interesting news for you very, very soon. But if you want our help with these two countries, make sure you click on the link below this video. There's a link in the description of this video. Click on the link and follow the instructions on the next page. Also, let us know what you think about this topic. What are your thoughts on Southeast Asia? Is it still a good place to live in? Is it not a good place to live in, and why? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe now and turn on alerts to never miss any of my future nomadism, dating, and business advice videos. Thank you for watching.